Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. We're going to paint today in high contrast. I like to paint these Zombicide Black Plague miniatures in high contrast because I want them to pop off the board. As you can see, there's a stark difference in the highlight and all the way down to the base coat. I'm going to start off with a dark red, and I'm not going to go all the way down to the base. I'm just going to stay on the top layers. This style is a lot about just leaving the black undercoat. I will prime in black. I'll use as many layers as I can to start to build that huge contrast immediately. As I start to work up in these layers, I'll get lighter, but I always want to make sure that I leave a distinct line between the color of the last paint and the next layer. I'm not going to blend them at all. Gives me a nice contrast heading up. Again, I just want to leave a line between the two colors of paint. I'm going to move to a lighter shade, and now this is my highest highlight. A lot of these areas will only take 2 highlights and sometimes 3 at the most. I just want to travel a large distance between colors of the layers. I'm using Scale Color Fantasy Games Blackert Brown to paint the leather portions of the figure's mail. Clovis, I believe, is his name. I'm going to continue going up on the color level, go a lot brighter here. That's such a small area that I'm painting right now. I just want to make sure that I bring it up as fast as I can, not looking to blend anything at all. As you can see, it jumps right off of that black undercoat. Some areas it's hard not to cover the black. In that case, I am going to use a pretty dark color. In this case, I'm using Vallejo Model Color Luftwaffe uniform. And I'm not going to worry if it does seep down into that black, because this will be a base color. The general rule of thumb is if I can't reach it, I'm just going to leave it black. Moving right along now, I've come on top of that Luftwaffe and I've picked out the silver areas, and I'm just going to touch the bristles to the areas and not worry about complete coverage. The overall method is minimal. I've moved to some P3 Gun Core Brown here. I'm showing you the colors in the bottom, but it's really not that important. Just want to make sure you have a lot of distance between colors. Picking out a few different areas on the model that I want to undercoat with brown. Here's another area that I had missed before. His cloth that's between his legs needs to be brown as well. So I'll go back and use that. Same P3 Gun Core Brown. In just about all these layers, I've gone about at least 2 layers, maybe 3, to make sure I get that stark contrast that I'm looking for. Now, right on top of that, I'm going to come in with the P3 Minoth White Highlight, and I'm going to use that to color his shirt, as well as these ropes that are coming over on the back of his shield. Next up is P3 Jackbone, and again, it's a brighter color, and I'm using this again for the cloth between his legs. I'm going to use that as a final highlight. One or 2 layers usually gets it done. Sometimes I need a third. For the shield on the back, I chose Vallejo New Wood. Vallejo has a lot of pigment in it. This is one of the areas that I did not choose to use more than 1 layer, so I did not highlight. I just like the effect it left. I'm coming back now for the bedroll, and I've decided to use the same Luftwaffe uniform to do the bedroll on his back because it's a nice cool color in contrast to the orange and reds. Now I went with the medium C gray Vallejo model color to highlight that Luftwaffe. You can see the studs on the shield I colored silver, and I left a nice black line around them, as well as around the ropes when I put in the new wood, so that it stands out. I'm not going to show you how I did the skin here. The skin was basically done with the same thing. I just went all the way down with the Panzer Aces flesh lines, and again worked up and layer. As you can see, looks pretty good so far. As I start to work on the silver areas of the weapons, pick out just a couple of the areas that will be downward facing and get some silver on those. And then I used the brighter silver instead of the oily steel to get the top of each of the weapons. For the hair now, I'm going to go with a base coat of flat brown. This is a nice undercoat for the bright orange that Clovis will eventually have for his hair and beard. Again, I'm picking out some areas with the flat brown color other than his hair. I like to use the same colors from the palette that I already am using to help tie the miniature together. Again, I want to make sure I'm leaving black as one of the predominant colors of the figure. On top of the flat brown now, I'm going to go with a light brown from Vallejo. This straddles the line between the brown and the orange really well. I'm going to be careful to leave just a couple of areas of the flat brown showing through. Now I'm going to go in with Games Workshop Troll Slayer Orange, and I'm just going to touch the bristles to the parts of the hair and around the top like a halo, so that Clovis's beard and his hair match the same kind of contrast as the rest of the model. Now with the gold, I'm going to go back in on top of some of the areas before that I undercoated with the flat brown. This is Vallejo Model Color Gold. When I look back at the model, I want to make sure that I've covered all of the areas that I want to cover. And so now I'm going back and I'm touching up some of the areas. I use a wet palette so that I can always come back and hit some spots that I might have missed. Here's some final pictures of the final product. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if you'd like to see something different. Thanks for watching.